Alright, one other thing I'm working on is the door lock for this rear hatch. It's not quite latching properly, so I'm going to take this cover off, see what I can find. Alright, if you have a rear hatch and you're not familiar with what the mechanism looks like, it's as much easier to do with two people because you can have somebody hold the door, because this thing is, these struts are pretty strong. But the issue I'm having is the key won't lock all the way, so I'm going to work on that. So I adjusted the locking mechanism on the rear hatch of this trailer. Most of you don't realize there's a lock here, so when right now it's open and unlocked. But if I lock the hatch, leave the handle over here, I take this key. What the problem was is I could not turn the lock. It would only go partially. So what I did was took that plate cover off, took out the little, I just had to grind down just a little bit enough. I mean, maybe a 1/16 of an inch of metal was on there blocking the turning. So now that's all sorted out. It's all lubricated, and I shouldn't have no more issues with it. But the handle is locked. If I unlock it and open it up, see Piper's basket of toys here, her food and water bowl are there, and then traveling. So the one, I don't guess it's a drawback, but it's a feature. It's an added feature of doing things, but this table is not super steady. You can see it wobbles there. And you, I don't say must, but you really should travel with this table in the down position, because over time, if those table legs are wobbling, the screws will eventually work free or rip out of the floor, which is not ideal. So we will always drop this table when we travel. We didn't do that for the last one because the edge of my table was hooked to the wall. And in Brad's opinion, any table that's hooked to the wall, it's not absolutely necessary. Airstream still recommends that you lower the table before you travel. But all the ones hooked to the floor, base camps, you know, anything with a rear hatch like this, it's always attached to the floor. The pottery barn is attached to the floor. So I always say push that table down, lower that table down before you travel. And finding a home for this is not always easy, because you got to pick up the cushions and put it underneath there. It doesn't really lay on the bed well because it could fall off the bed unless you have a queen bed, but we have the twin. So it's a feature, it's a thing, but love the rear hatch. And the screen that pulls down here, really nice. It gives us some camping options that we didn't previously have, and we're really excited for all the new things we might see looking out our back hatch. One other thing about the back hatch that if you are out there in the world and you have a back hatch, there's a rubber seal right across the top right here, and it's underneath and along both sides. If you're not consistent about keeping that seal lubricated, same with all the windows on this rig, keeping those seals lubricated with 303, you should be, because if that seal rips, now you got a leak, things like that. So always be concerned about keeping this seal, specifically this seal, if you have a rear hatch, lubricated. And it's really easy to do. You open up your hatch and you have a seal on the door itself, and you have this top seal up here. So you have a seal on the door and a seal on the rig. So both need to get lubricated. But the seal goes all the way around the door. Same with your main cabin door. Same with all the windows on the rig. Those things need to be lubricated often. I do mine once a month at a minimum.